What's up, guys? We're taking a look at some Super 7 reaction figures. We're taking a look at the second set of exclusives that I recently got a hold of. This is the set of figures that comes from the 2018 Camo Khan conventions. So we've got some color variants similar to the previous review where we took a look at the Los Amos figures. These are just color variants for various reasons, mini comics and toy variants, things like that. So we've got 5 figures to look at today. The first of which we're going to take a look at Eternia He-Man. He is the unique one of the bunch. So you can see him here. He's on the standard Super 7 style reaction card, but everything is different. So this is the standard He-Man card, but it's changed up to match the red and black scheme of the figure. So we've got that fantastic Jason Edmiston artwork on the front, and then the back, everything's in the black and red scheme again, but of course this has cross-sell for the other figures in the line. Now beyond that, we have got some other figures as well to take a look at. We have got 4 different figures, and there were more of these, but I didn't get all of the variants for Stratos. So we've got 4 figures here. We've got mini comic Stratos, we have got Tila / the Goddess, we've got mini comic Beastman, and then we've got Camo Khan, so that's a toy variant color. And then they're on the standard kind of cards backs, but all of their cards mimic the artwork. The artwork mimics the figure look. And then the back for all of these has got cross-sell as well. So let's just get right into it, crack these guys open, and take a closer look. All right, guys, here we go. We've got my selection of the PowerCon exclusive reaction figures, and just for good measure, we have got, you know, the Tila, quote-unquote Tila or Goddess figure. We've got Camo Khan, Eternia He-Man. We have got mini comic Stratos, and just so you are aware, there were 2 other variants. There is a reverse color wing Stratos, and then there was the Bluebeard variant as well. I just didn't feel the need to get those. And then we've got mini comic Red Beastman. So, you know, these are standard reaction figures. We've seen all of these before. They're just repaints. So as far as articulation goes, you know, heads can swivel, arms can swivel, legs can swivel. They are vintage style 3 3/4 inch figures with minimal articulation. That's pretty much it. So we're going to jump right in, take a look at each one individually real quick. And we're going to start with the one that I was the most interested in, and this one is also noteworthy because he wasn't just a PowerCon exclusive, so there was a German exclusive as well, and I touched on this in my recent Toy Haul video where there was a German cardback variant, because that's where Eternia He-Man comes from. He comes from the German audio stories, radio stories from the 80s, and that's where the idea for Eternia He-Man comes from, so they kind of got their own special card back, and I think that's pretty cool. It's very similar, it just has German instead of English on it. So we've got Eternia He-Man here. This is our standard He-Man figure, just done up in the AE colors. So we've got the red and black color scheme. I'm a big fan of Eternia He-Man. I think the idea is really cool. I'd love to get other characters that look like this, but I don't know if that's ever really going to happen or not. We got a black power sword. It is the same power sword we've seen with this line before, so it's got the kind of cross guard on there to allow it to be held more easily, similar to how the vintage toys had it. But yeah, this is a great figure. Awesome color scheme, just looks fantastic, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be in terms of a reaction figure. It's just everything about this color scheme kind of oozes coolness for me, so this one was at the top of my list and was absolutely the must-have for me from this convention. In contrast to Eternia He-Man, we have got the mini comic Stratos. This was my least interested figure, just because I'm not a huge Stratos guy. I never really have been, but when I saw there were some variants going up, this was the one I knew I wanted to have because it's the most different. So this is the mini comic version where he's, you know, sort of naked for the most part. He doesn't have the gray coloring. He's just got like flesh tones. It's the same Stratos figure we've seen before. We got the blue wings, the blue loincloth, we got a nice bright gold belt, and then we've got the jetpack on the back. He does look really good. Again, I'm just not a great Stratos fan, so he's not anything special to me, but he does look really good. I think he translates really well into reaction style. He doesn't come with a weapon, though. I kind of wish he would have come with one of the variants of the Staff of Avion. I think that would have been really cool. But at the end of the day, you know, I kind of understand what they're going for here, so having no accessory also makes just as much sense, really. Keeping with that mini comic trend, we have got the Red Beastman, so, you know, the classic mini comic style Beastman. Again, same figure we've seen before. He's just all red. So this guy must have been very easy to produce because he has very little paint on him. The majority of this guy is just cast in that really, really dark, rich red. He does have painted eyes and teeth, and he's got the crest on his chest that's painted, and he does have the same style of, you know, kind of rope whip that we've seen before in this line with the little handle to make it easier for him to hold. I think this is a great figure. I really like Mini Comic Beastman. For some reason, that really dark red look does it for me. I like the Classics figure, and this is no different. I think it's a good variant to have, and it works exceptionally well in this style just as much as the regular Beastman does. Next up, we have got the quote-unquote Teela figure, Teela variant, but we all kind of know that this is not really Teela. It's the goddess figure from the mini comics who basically shares an appearance with Teela. They look exactly the same in terms of her mini comic appearance and the Teela figure, but I'm not going to go into the overall history of that. I've already done that elsewhere in other videos, but we've got what I think is one of the better figures in this line. I do think the face is kind of odd on this particular figure, but the design for her armor is fantastic. We've got the snake hood, we've got the snake crests on the chest. We've got this nice girdle loincloth thing going on down here. I really like her armor design in this line. I think it works really well. We've of course got the snake staff. It just looks fantastic. My only real gripe, and it's not really a gripe, it's more of a wish for this particular figure, is that similar to the Classics figure, I would have loved if they could have figured out a way to make her skin a translucent plastic rather than just being painted this kind of pale green, but I kind of understand what they're going for here. I get that that's probably cost prohibitive for this particular line, especially when it comes to a convention, but a guy can wish, and I wish that was done, but otherwise I do think she looks really fantastic. If anything, I think this figure actually looks a little improved from my original standard Teela figure. And last but certainly not least, we have Cobra Khan, or as he is more commonly known in this form, Camo Khan. So this guy is a toy variant color. He's not a mini comic variant like the other figures have been. We've got him with his camouflage color scheme going on with the patches of black all over his arms and chests and legs. He's got some black on his face there. And this guy is an interesting one because in this particular style, he really reminds me of the small Dino Rider figures that came with the dinosaurs and some of the, well, I guess they didn't all come with the dinosaurs, did they? But the small Dino Riders figures, the Rulons, the bad guys, I think he could fit in there really well, aside from the fact that he's too tall. But beyond that, I really like Cobra Khan. I liked the first figure. This is just icing on the cake for me. So he looks just as good now as he did in the first figure. It just happens to have a different paint job. He's got this nice bright green blaster pistol. We've got some good gold paint on him. And yeah, you know, who doesn't like some of the Snake Men? And it's Cobra Khan. He's a classic villain. He's a must-have. This was a no-brainer. So yeah, at the end of the day, these are all winners for me in one way or another. Some are better than others, and most of that comes down to character preference for me. I do think that Super7 did a really good job of picking this particular batch of figures to be exclusives. None of them are absolute must-haves because they're all variants in some way, although I'm sure for most people like me, they were must-haves anyway. But I do dig the fact that none of these were unique characters that have never been in the line before, so I'm really appreciative of what they did in terms of the character selection here. As always, they look fantastic out of package, they look fantastic on the card. You know, that artwork that Jason Edmondson provides for this line is top-notch, very vintage, just fantastic all around. So I, again, as almost always with this line, I have really no complaints with these. I'm really glad I was able to get a hold of them. And yeah, they are just another fun set of figures in the Motu ReAction line. So that's going to do it for this look at the PowerCon exclusive ReAction figures from Super7. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.